Hi everyone, Danny here today to talk to you about the first 3 books in Drew Hayes' Fred the Vampire Accountant series. Book number 1 is called The Utterly Uninteresting Tales of Fred the Vampire Accountant. Book number 2 is called Undeath and Taxes. Book number 3 is called Bloody Acquisitions. These stories all revolve about a young man who was the geek, the nerd in high school. He was bullied until being bullied became a part of his identity, a part of who he is. He views himself as weak. He views himself as non-confrontational. He becomes an accountant, and one night he's turned into a vampire. But instead of being turned into a vampire, now he's this supernatural, scary being, and so he turns into this monster, or he goes out for revenge on any of the people in the world. Instead of any of that, what he discovers is that he enjoys being an accountant, and he's happy with who he is, and he just wants to go on being an accountant. And so that's what he does, and he manages to build a world around accounting. He manages to set up a world where he does not have to go out and hunt victims at night. He can be peaceful, he can be non-confrontational, he can focus on building his accounting business like he's always wanted to do. And then he decides to take a chance, and his big chance is going to a high school reunion, and things go off the rails from there. The narrator in this story is the perfect choice for the narrator in the story. The story is told in the first-person narrative. In other words, the person telling the stories is Fred himself. It's told as a series of journal entries that he's made about his life. And as the stories progress, he gets a girlfriend, he gets other friends. Initially, he is the person that everyone is having to rescue and look out for. But the reality of it is that Fred is not timid. Fred is not non-confrontational. Fred just has his own way of going about things. And so Fred starts rescuing his friends. Fred starts becoming the hero. He doesn't do it through gaining fighting skills. He doesn't do it through developing a warrior ethos. He does it by remaining true to the inner core Fred, who is a peaceful gentleman kind of a guy. He does it by outwitting, outsmarting, and outthinking his friends. The book is quite entertaining. The books, there's 3 of them. They're quite entertaining. They're lighthearted. They're funny. It's definitely meant to be a humorous read, and it is one of the best humorous reads I've ever come across. Fred never realizes that he's changing into this person. Fred never realizes that he's the hero. Throughout everything, Fred has this inferiority complex, and he views himself as inferior throughout, and it comes across in his narrative. But his friends definitely see him differently than he sees himself, and he definitely is the hero. There's no parts that I can think of that were like, belly laughing, rolling on the floor kind of funny. The entire thing was more of a light-hearted humor that made you feel good, made you feel upbeat, put a big smile on your face kind of a thing. I will warn you, if you are the type of person who is easily offended by vulgarity or anything remotely sexual, there's definite vulgarity in parts of the book. There's a strong sexual undertone. There's no scenes of sex or anything like that, but there is a strong sexual undertone to the book. Myself, I actually felt like the sexual undertone added to the story with the way it was done. The vulgarity actually added to the story with the way it's done. A lot of books, when they do vulgarity, it seems that vulgarity is done just for vulgarity's sake. That is not the case in this book. You have Freddie and you have other characters in the book who would never use a swear word. It's against their nature. It's not who they are. It's not who they want to be. And then you have people whom vulgarity is just a part of who they are, how they express themselves. And those are the times when the vulgarity comes out. And so when the vulgarity comes out, it actually fits the character and demeanor of the person who's using the vulgarity. And by doing so, it provides a nice counterbalance to Frederick and to Frederick's view of the world. I have listened to this series a couple of different times. I can't wait for the 4th book to come out. I have reviewed another Drew Hayes series, which is his NPC series, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But this series I enjoy so much more than his NPC series. The lighthearted, good feeling you get from this story is unlike anything that I've gotten from any other story. When I need an uplifting kind, and it's hard to say that it's uplifting. It is uplifting, but not in the, hey, positive kumbaya. I mean, this is a vampire and werewolves and zombies and monsters kind of a story. So it's not a positive kumbaya kind of a story. But at the same time, it's still uplifting. It still makes you feel good, makes you feel good about yourself. It leaves you feeling happy and positive. It's a definite recommended read, provided that you're not bothered by the vulgarity. And there are some parts where the vulgarity is quite strong. So if you're on the fence as to whether that might bother you, it's not predominant in the book, but there are parts where when it is used. Once again, it fits the character, and to me, it added to the story. If you like my reviews, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any feedback at all, please send it my way, and have a very wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.